I don't know when my boobs became a triple D, honey. I don't know when that happened. I know I just went into Victoria's Secret one day and they were like, oh no, you a triple D, girl. You buying the wrong size. I was like, excuse me? What? Triple? So now that I'm a triple D, I don't feel that it's appropriate to call these titties. I feel like they're yitties, and that's what it is. So my yitties is sitting today, baby. Yitties is sitting. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sheila Marie, and I'm back here with another video. Today I want to talk about something near and dear to my heart. But low-key, I always say that, don't I? Because everything on my channel is near and dear to my heart. The way I want to think about this video is a letter to my body, because my body deserves it. Okay, I have put my body through a lot. Let me explain. Body love is a trend right now. Body confidence, body acceptance of different shapes and sizes. But if you are a millennial like myself, that was not always the case growing up. When we were growing up, you know, all of our dolls had a very thin frame. It was a very white Eurocentric standard of beauty, and everyone else was a deviation of that. But that whiteness, lightness, thinness was the standard. So pull up a chair. I grew up as the only Black person in my household. I could explain why. That is a video for another day. But just, you know, here's young Sheila. Oh, here I am. Look at baby Sheila, how cute I was. So I am learning about myself in the world. I'm learning about what it means to be a woman, to look like a woman. For the most part, little girls first learn about whatever femininity is and womanness is from their mother. And a lot of little girls want to look like their mom, and I wanted to look like my mom. I did not look like my mom. Here's my mom. Not only did I have the programming that's coming from society and these larger systems, the film industry, at the time all the Disney characters were all white or non-Black, I should say. Maybe we had Pocahontas, honey. I think they gave us Pocahontas. Hello, that was the closest we got. I was like, oh, she's brown. But other than that, I wanted to be Ariel, I wanted to be Belle, I wanted to be Cinderella. They did not look like me. So I did not understand what was happening. I was kind of confused about why I was the only Black person in the house. My mom and my dad got divorced, so she was my biological mother. I am biracial. I hate saying biracial because what does that even mean? There's only one human race. You can't be biracial. My mom's Cuban and white, and my father is African American. So when they got divorced, here I was, this little chocolate drop, you know what I'm saying, in this household, and my mom remarried and they had a daughter, and my sister came out with these beautiful blue eyes and blonde hair, which did look like Cinderella. It did look like Belle. It did look like all these Disney characters, and I idolized this white standard of beauty before I even knew what was happening. I mean, this was probably, I was 5 years old when this was, like, these ideas started to get cemented. I remember asking my mom one day, like, can we go to like Home Depot, like just get the body paint? My mom was like, what's the body paint? I'm like, that's the paint to like paint your skin so it could be white. Because I thought that being Black was a defect. And that's not only something that little Sheila thought. Resma Menakem talks about this in My Grandmother's Hands. I actually mentioned this book in another video for some of my favorite books to read right now for healing. And he talks about white-bodied supremacy and how the privilege is in the body. The way he explains white-bodied supremacy is that white-bodied supremacy is such that whiteness is the standard and everything else is a defect or a deviation of that standard. And I felt that at large it was going on around me, even though I didn't know it. But in my house, I felt it as well because I was the only one that looked different. And I was really confused about that. So what this did to my body was I started to internalize some of the self-hate, even though it maybe didn't show up as self-hate at that age, but maybe this took like over years and years. I turned it inward, this non-acceptance of myself, non-acceptance of my body, and I turned it into my physical body, so that what developed within me was that my body is always wrong. There's always something wrong with my body. It's always in need of fixing. It's always in need of changing. It needs to be smaller, it needs to be flatter, it needs to be smoother. And those beliefs still hang around with me till this day. And these are things that developed when I was about 5 years and under. So I know a lot of women experience this. I've worked with thousands of women, and I can tell you, if I go into a room and we start talking about bodies, most of the time it comes up. Every now and then you get someone who's like, oh no, girl, I love my body. I know I look good. Ooh, you know what I'm saying? I look good. You know, every now and then you get a girl who's just like, oh, she knows she's lit. Majority of the time, oh girl, I used to be, no, these kids, they blah, blah, blah. Women have been so conditioned to, I'm gonna use the word hate. It is hate. It might not always look like that, but I feel like we have been conditioned to hate our bodies so much, though it's been pathologized to be like, that's just talk, girl. It's just natural for us to brush off compliments. It's just natural for us to criticize our bodies as fun. It's natural for other people to do the same. You'll see this on all kind of comedy and stuff like that, that picking, especially Black women, picking apart Black women's bodies is a sport. And we all participate in it in some capacity. And so for me, I started to project all of these insecurities on my body and through my body and in my body. And I realized that for many years, I missed out on being grateful. I missed out on being grateful for like how healthy that my body was, and how my body could fight off infection, and how my body could do fun things like work out and do all of these things, because I was so conditioned to do the criticizing and to do the putting down. Girl, I saw a spider, and I did not do that. I had to make sure that spider was on the outside of the window, baby, because let me tell you something. Okay. Wow, the Yetis is sitting. This is a side note. This is very off topic right now, but I don't know when my boobs became a triple D, honey. I don't know when that happened. I know I just went into Victoria's Secret one day and they were like, oh no, you a triple D, girl. You buying the wrong size. I was like, excuse me? What? Triple? So now that I'm a triple D, I don't feel that it's appropriate to call these titties. I feel like they're Yetis, and that's what it is. So my Yetis is sitting today, baby. Yetis is sitting. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up some pictures here that I wanna share with you guys. Even now, scrolling through my phone, I will constantly see like me making these side-by-side like before and after pictures, because the message that I adopted was that there has to be something wrong with my body the way it is now, and it's always in need of shifting. Let's look at some pictures. Here's me in 2012. The thing that I do really well is I can project confidence for a period of time. I know how to turn confidence on for a task. I'm a performer naturally, and I'm trained as a performer, so I know how to like tap into a certain emotion for a period of time. I'm like really good at like, okay, even though I might be feeling some type of way, I can pose, and you know what I'm saying? Especially in pictures, that's actually where I feel the most comfortable, and in videos that I produce myself. When I started out on Instagram, it probably was like 2014, I don't know. When I started on Instagram, I started out by sharing my journey with low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, and body love, like my inability to love my body, right? I would be more comfortable posting a picture of myself in a bikini on Instagram than I would be walking in a sundress down the street in Brooklyn, where I was living at the time. How you struggle with body love, how you struggle with low self-esteem, but you post it online. Let me break it down for you, sis. When you've experienced any type of trauma is a loss of control. When you've experienced trauma, that means you were not able to control the circumstances in the way that you wanted to protect yourself. When I'm outside, right, if I even like this dress I have on now, hey thigh, right? If I was in this dress right now, where I was living at the time, I live, in Brooklyn, New York, like it's a walking city. People are outside, and men have been conditioned to feel like it's okay to have access to you and to your body if they see you on the street. And don't let you be wearing a sundress and be thick. Okay, don't let you be wearing a sundress and be thick. Don't let you got the yitties out, because then it's like, oh, it's an invitation. Well, because you're dressing in this way, it is inviting of my attention or my heckling or whatever. And I just hated dealing with,
Mom, what's up, Mom? What's up, Mom? What you doing? You can't have no friends? Where you going?
like, it was a lot. Like, I would just be like, okay, I'm stepping out the door, I'm preparing myself, headphones in. It's assaulting as a woman. I feel like there was a woman who did a video about this. If I can find the video that I'm talking about where she recorded herself and all of the heckling that she received, like walking down the street. Oh, you ain't gotta speak, smile, smile. You didn't, like, it was just, I will post the video or link it if I can find it. It's assaulting and it does not feel safe and it feels traumatic, okay? To be walking on the street and you cannot control what is going to happen necessarily. Like, they might even come up to you and grab your arm, you know what I'm saying? Or you want to be polite, but you don't want to get cursed out. Like, that's a lot going on. So what I would do, I always covered my body up. I already felt uncomfortable about my curves. I like them on my own terms, but I don't like them when they invite the attention of strangers and maybe men that I don't want attention from. That is not the same thing. That does not feel like agency. That does not feel powerful or empowering at all. That feels scary and irritating. Which would mean I never got to wear the clothes I really wanted to wear. Like, I would see shorts. I would never wear shorts, ever. I probably stopped wearing shorts in high school. Like, after that, I would never wear shorts because I did not like the attention that I received. Now, if I'm on Instagram, I'm in the safety of my own home. Nobody's going to touch me. Nobody is going to assault me. If somebody says something in a comment that I don't like, I have the ability to block them. I can get them out of my space. It felt like I was creating some kind of digital safe space for myself, even though it's not safe because people screenshot or whatever. But for me, it was not about the receiving end. It was about me doing it. It was about the act of me taking the picture, looking at myself in a picture, feeling good about a picture, like having the courage to put it out there. And I say courage only because with my history of really hating my body, putting it out there for the possibility of being critiqued does require a certain level of courage. I started to like play with this space and see like who I could be and how I could curate this space for me to explore who I wanted to be and how I wanted to show up, which I didn't feel like I could do in like my third dimensional life, so to speak. When I started developing curves, I was always naturally curvy. This comes from my grandmother. I never met my grandmother. Every time I say that, I feel that. Sorry, I did not expect that, honey. I got a little, Sometimes when I talk about this and it's such a unique experience, I can't stress it enough. And if there's anybody who has this experience, let me know in the comments how it was for you. When you grow up around nobody that looks like you, it is a very strange experience and you feel really disconnected. So the fact that my family tells me, even though I never met her, I haven't even seen a picture. I have to like see if I can hunt down like who in the family has a picture of my grandmother, and they say you got your shape from her. I wonder what it would have been like how would I have grown up differently if I would have been able to see women who also had my shape and know that my shape is in lineage of them. And I didn't necessarily have that connection. So shout out to my grandma. She just came to visit me and she threw a spirit. I felt it. And then what came along with the curves was male attention. As a Black woman, you know, you have the Jezebel stereotype. You have a historical lineage of Black women being sexualized younger than other women. This trope of Black women wanting sex and just being very sexual, and like, it wasn't just my personal experience that I felt sexualized younger than I was ready for, but it's a larger experience that's happening too. We have all of these systems which reinforce, it's called actually adultification, that Black women, happens to Black people at large. We grow up faster than other people. It reminds me of the Dave Chappelle, how old is 15 really skit or sketch that he had.
I know I sound mean, and I know what the people are thinking when I'm saying this. Dave, she is only 15. All right, but that's the discrepancy, because when you talk about a little girl like Elizabeth Smart, then the country feels like 15 is so young and so innocent. On the flip side, here comes 15 again. Now we're talking about a 15-year-old Black kid in Florida. This Black kid accidentally killed his neighbor when he's practicing wrestling moves that he saw on TV. Now, was he a kid? No. They gave him life. They always try our 15-year-olds as adults.
I was conflicted. Again, what this did on another level was I put even more hate on my body, because now my curves were making me feel unsafe. Because now they were inviting the attention of men that I didn't want, and it was my fault because I had the curves, because I dressed a certain way, because I wore the bathing suit, because I did whatever, right? I realized that all of this kind of just manifested as a way of me having a love-hate relationship with my body and my curves. I love them because sometimes I got praised for them, and sometimes I felt really good. You know, I would like look up black women in history, and then I started, you know, just seeing other black women traveling and seeing things, and I would just be like, wow, it's so beautiful to have these curves. On one level, I love them, and then on another level, I had this resentment for them that just developed when I was so young, you know, and kind of just stuck with me. So this is a picture in 2012, and I'm certain in this picture, I took this picture and then I was like, I look so fat. So I do not actually think I've never been diagnosed. Like, I've never been tested. I never even sought to be tested or anything for body dysmorphic disorder. But actually, let me read the definition right here. Body dysmorphic disorder is a mental health disorder in which you can't stop thinking about one or more perceived defects or flaws in your appearance. A flaw that appears minor or can't be seen by others. But you may feel so embarrassed, ashamed, and anxious that you may avoid social situations. So things to pull out from that definition: there could be a minor flaw, but you perceive it to be larger than it is. And it prevents you from interacting socially in some way. And so I feel that personally, because of the beauty industry, fashion industry, film industry, all of the messages that women always receive in our youth obsessed, skinny, not even skinny because it's changing now, but perfection obsessed society when it comes to women's bodies. I think that a lot of women have a level of body dysmorphic disorder, and that's why maybe plastic surgery is becoming more accessible and then more popular now and things like that. And then we're not even gonna get into filters and all that can't even imagine what it's like growing up now with social media and all of these filters and everything. I can't imagine. I'm sure it's difficult. But for me, my body dysmorphia association was around my butt, period. Because I always had a booty and people always commented on it, and for as long as I can remember, it's probably the second thing people say when they meet me. Now that I'm natural, they might say something about my hair, but before it was always like, girl, you got a booty, you thick, this and that. And then as I got older, the next conversation became, is it real? Is it real? Her booty fake, she got her booty done. Where? Say it to my grandma. Say it to my grandma, say it. No, tell my grandma my booty's fake. Go ahead, tell her. Go hit up my aunties. Go hit up my aunties. No, do it. Go hit up my aunties. Go look at them. But, you know, you can't really blame people because out of nowhere, this body type became a prototype in some ways. So now everybody, and I live in Florida, I live in Miami, everybody has not everybody, there's a lot of that here in Florida, in Miami in particular. There's a lot of similar body types now, so that's that. I do want to say I have nothing wrong with no plastic surgery. If that is something that you want to do to make yourself feel better, sis, do that. The only thing that I ask is that it comes from a healthy place and not a place of not good enough. I can remember so many circumstances, work uniforms. I mean, it's always, again, if I'm going back to the idea of white-bodied supremacy, like the standard for things is always very thin, and my butt is always deviant. It's always too much. It's always in excess. So if you grew up with a big booty though, and your aunties was in the house and your mama was in the house with a big booty, your sister, like, or whatever, you might feel like this is kind of normal, like this is how it is. But for me, it always was framed in my mind as something wrong. So here I am in 2012, healthy, living, but I can for certain say in this picture, I thought I was fat. That was my whole thing. I was always fat, again, because I grew up around mostly white girls and they were like very thin was like the ideal. Now it's like okay to be thicker, but at the time I was growing up, it was like thinness was it. That was like the standard of beauty. Here I am in 2013. I'm looking back at these pictures and I'm this is why this is a message to my body. Like, I'm realizing how many opportunities I missed to enjoy my body. I missed out on so much enjoyment. Girl, you look great. I'll be in a thong walking down the street naked, child. Here I am in 2013. Again, I was obsessed with being thin. So here I'm probably criticizing my stomach because it's not exactly flat, which I still criticize to this day. Here I am in 2014. I was like doing some type of P90X in my room. Like I didn't have money for like a gym membership, but I was doing this P90X in my room, honey. And like, look at my abs. Look at that body. I have a story about this picture. Don't judge the room. I feel like I must have been in the process of trying on clothes. I don't know. I look amazing. And right in this picture, again, I'm living in New York. I would never be able to go anywhere in that outfit except right there in that picture. Or if I was coming home to visit in Florida. But these jeans right here, I always wanted to wear cutoffs. I always wanted to wear cutoffs. I saw girls wearing cutoffs and I always thought, oh, it's so cute. I really want to wear cutoffs, but jean cutoffs, you know, it's really hard to get jean cutoffs when you have the little gap, you know what I'm saying? You have to buy them. They have to be big enough to fit over the hips, but then you want them fitted at the waist. And with denim, there's no stretch. And so I never really was a possibility for me. So I bought these shorts from Urban Outfitters for the first time. Oh my God, I was like, I'm gonna wear, I think I was going on a cruise with my boyfriend at the time. And I was like, oh, we're going on a cruise. I'm gonna wear these shorts. It's gonna be amazing. And I bought them extra large so that I could get the waist taken in. I brought them to a tailor. She was Russian. She took the waist in. And then when I went back to try them on, they couldn't fit me. Like, she was in there like, pulling. And she said, it's not work. You don't wear shorts. That's a terrible Russian accent, but that's what I got. She basically told me like, you don't need to wear these. Like, you just don't wear shorts. And I still remember that to this day. And I didn't wear jean shorts until my honeymoon. I got some jean shorts and I got them tailored. I just remember that story. I cried. I was crying. I left there crying because I just felt, I'm so fat. I'm so fat. Do I look fat here? Can you believe that this is what this body dysmorphia will do to us? This is if we internalize that self-hate. It divorces you from being able to see all the greatness and all the gifts that your body can give you, bro. So here I am in 2016. I remember taking this picture and being like, I don't want to post it because of my cellulite. Here I am in 2016. You can see here, I felt a little bit more comfortable showing the like little dimples and stuff like that. I think this is a really beautiful shoot. But again, I did criticize myself for not being thin here. And here I am in 2017. I feel like maybe this was a period where I was on my fitness the most. I was really thin during this time for two reasons. One is because I had a little bit more time because I had just moved in with Ace. For the first time in my life, I didn't have 3 or 4 jobs at the same time or school. So I was like, I had the time and the luxury to be working out whenever I, you know, on my own schedule. I also was just just newly around someone who was really into fitness, so it kind of rubbed off on me. And then the third thing, this is why I need to apologize to my body again, is that this time I might have looked good on the outside and I liked like the compliments that people were giving me, even though I couldn't like fully take them in. But a part of the reason why I was so thin was because I was suffering from major anxiety. Dating somebody that was public like that in the way that he is was a very big shock for me. I had never had that level of visibility. I never had that many people looking at me, commenting on me, saying things about me. And my anxiety kept me from eating. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping. When people were like, you look great, girl, I'm like, thanks. It was intense. 2018, see, the yitty started developing around here, right? In 2019, here I am. I've always been active. Active is subjective. I feel like I go on and off because sometimes I get really busy and I forget my body. Crazy. But I just wanted to see here, like, if you saw those images, you would be like, that is a healthy girl who should be happy about the way that she looks, right? Should, keyword. Looking through those images, the reason that I wanted to share this as a message to my body is that I feel like I'm looking back at it now and I'm like, wow, I didn't realize how beautiful that I was during those times. And I say that with all humility, but honestly, I feel like we all have the right to really feel that we're beautiful and love our bodies and have the experience of accepting our bodies, because it opens up the pathway to be grateful for our bodies and all the things that our bodies have done for us. I just want to send the message to my body that I apologize for all of those times in which I couldn't see the beauty, in which I couldn't experience the gratitude, in which I didn't honor you and take care of you and keep you sacred. And I want to say thank you for all the gifts that you provide me, all the gifts that you have given me, that you give me now, and that I know will continue into the future. And I want to invite you to take this moment to send a message to your own body. All women deserve the experience of loving and accepting their bodies. And as you can see from my example, if we're not careful, we will miss out on years of really having a good and healthy relationship with our bodies. And the reason that this is even more funny is that I'm getting dressed today and I'm having the same thoughts that I had when I was just now showing you those pictures. Now I'm having the thoughts of, my body's so big, like, oh my God, like, oh no, I might get lipo. Or why do I have, cellulite and this and that? And I'm like, no, Sheila, what is the lesson that I just said? What is the lesson that I'm sharing now is a lesson I need to really also accept for myself. So with that said, I'm not criticizing my body. I love my body. You know what I'm saying? Quarantine, you know what I'm saying? I got a little thicker than normal. It's okay. It's okay. I'm grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful for just being healthy and happy, and I hope you are too. And I'm sending love and light to anyone watching this video. I hope this has been useful or helpful to you in some way, and I will see you next time.